Hello and welcome to the War Room. This is Gaku, and I'll be talking about the upcoming Sunday ranked Slazer game. You might have seen my video on the end of the last campaign, in which I was playing Japan, and basically made it through the first session, saw a great war, and by great I mean as a very interesting war. And then the second session, is sub, Too Awesome got wrecked by UK, and basically got annexed. At that point, the campaign just went to shit. People rage quit, people left, and it was decided that the campaign would be restarted. So this is actually round 2 of the second game of the season, and since it was round 2 and I didn't get a full playthrough of Japan, I decided I'd play Japan again. So that was about a week ago, I think. I signed up for Japan and I got it, and since then there have been some developments, so I'll be talking about that. Well, earlier today I got a message from Duro, who's playing UK. And the message was basically an offer. That is, he would defend me, he would protect Japan, guarantee me against everyone, and let me westernize in exchange for 20 infamy. So how does 20 infamy work? Well, it means I would have to justify, let's say, a minor conquest or an acquired state or a conquest against probably 2 different nations here in India. Now, I can't get troops over here to actually land and get war score, so I'd have to justify, declare war, and then he'd occupy and get the land. We'd do it in trades later. Now, because you can't get exactly 20 infamy, what would happen is, let's say I got 15 and 15, just for the sake of argument. I got 30 infamy total. Well, at the end of the session, that extra 10 infamy would be traded to the UK. So how would this likely work out? Well, 20 infamy is 17 years worth of infamy at 0.1 infamy per month, roughly. It's like 16.7. But 17 years worth of infamy to burn off, plus any additional infamy that can only be traded off between sessions. So, for the first 2 full sessions, I would be unable to do anything but sit on my ass and watch infamy burn off, at best. Now, it would be a safe thing to do, but it would be an incredibly boring thing to do. And 8 hours of sitting on my ass watching infamy burn off. Now, if I were just playing, that's one thing, but then if I'm editing videos and uploading them, that's about 10 hours to edit that 8 hours of me doing absolutely nothing. So basically just 10 hours of editing people talking. And I'll just be sitting there with my thumb up my ass. So I said no thank you, and I would take my chances. Not too long after I told the UK that I would take my chances, I got a message from Marconi, who's playing Russia. Marconi told me that, well, since I refused the UK's offer, he was going to kill me. That is, the UK was going to do the exact same thing that the UK did in the last campaign, except he was going to basically do it day 1. So, beginning of the first session, he'd justify on me, send ships over, and then take everything he possibly could off me. And then if I wasn't already dead, do it in the second war, and then annex me. So probably about 25 to 30 infamy to annex Japan, because this is Slazer mod. And then I would get kicked out of the game. And then how big of an idiot I am for not taking this amazing deal, where I would get to survive through the second session. And by the way, I could of course westernize and become an actual player. Never mind that Korea would probably be gone by then, Dynam would probably be gone by then, etc, etc. There's just simply nothing to do after 2 sessions. So I basically told him the same thing I just told you, that is, I wasn't interested in sitting on my hands for 2 sessions doing nothing. And I say that because there's no possibility of taking Korea if I already have 20 infamy, and that's like my top priority because of a treaty. So I told him no thank you, and he assured me that I would be annexed as a consequence. Well, I let him know that if I got annexed, then that was everyone else's problem. Now why do I say that? In a Victoria 2 game, UK is the big bad. They start as number 1, and anyone who wants to compete has to take them down. You can't just win, you have to beat the UK, or you're going to come in second. That, of course, doesn't account for Slazer rules and whatever BS. No one cares about Slazer rules. No one cares about your stupid scoring system. Sorry, Slazer. The thing that matters is your actual score and your actual power projection. UK starts as the big bad, and they, at the beginning, can only go in one direction, and that's further up. So it is, in theory, everyone else's job to prevent the UK from going along that trajectory. Now, if the rest of the world allows the UK to take all of Japan with impunity, they not only have knocked out a substantial possible competitor, but they've also taken some very choice land that will make them that much more powerful going forward. So it's a really bad idea to let the UK just take Japan. Now, there aren't too many people who can stop it, at least not at the very beginning of the game, but giving the UK your blessing to take Japan is a very bad idea. So that's my take on it. That is, at worst, you have the most powerful nations of the game becoming that much more powerful, which just makes it less interesting, I think. But, alright, let's ignore that for now. So, Marconi says I'm an idiot for not taking the deal. My response to him is what I just told you, which is basically, if I get annexed, then it's everyone else's problem, because the whole point of the game is to beat the UK. Unless, of course, you are the UK. Now, we already saw what happened last game. And if you've been watching my videos for a while, then you probably know my stance on treaties, and that is, they remove all flexibility from the game. You might have guessed my stance on trading infamy, and that is, if you have someone who's very powerful, say the UK, and if they have someone like South Africa as a player under them, and if the UK says to South Africa, do as I say or I will kill you, and what I say is spend all your infamy to get land for me for free, then that makes an even less balanced game than what you would have had anyway. So I'm very much against infamy trading, although this happens to be a feature of Slazer games. Then of course we have the rules lawyering that's characteristic of Slazer games, and then we have a bunch of people who are the tryhardiest of the tryhards all trying to be number one. Put all that together and you've got a not exactly what I would call a fun situation. So I told Marconi this, and he basically told me then I should just quit. So that's what I'm going to do. In fact, I'm not going to be taking part in this campaign. And after I'd informed Slazer, I learned of something else which just hammered home the decision that much more strongly, and solidified my resolve to not take part in this campaign. You can't possibly guess what that thing is, but here I'm going to tell you. The UK, Russia, France, and Sardinia-Piedmont all have a four-way defensive alliance. This is 1836, before the game is even started. We have a coalition bloc including three of the three most powerful countries in the game at the start, plus Sardinia-Piedmont. Basically, this is going to be a complete repeat of the last game, except we don't have Vincenzo playing as Prussia, so Prussia has no chance. In fact, Slazer's playing Prussia, and I'm sorry, you're going to die. Russia is obviously going to, day one, justify, probably on Austria, I'm guessing, probably West Galicia for that juicy coal and pop. I mean, they might go for Silesia, they might go for Posen, but basically Russia's going to be declaring war on Prussia and Austria. And France is going to be coming in to take their piece, and obviously Sardinia and Piedmont's going to be going for Lombardia. So it's an exact repeat of the last campaign, except Kevin G, I'm sorry, you're going to die. Slazer, you can't win this, so you're going to die too. And the UK is not going to come out of the blue at the last minute to save you because they're all allied to each other. So who does that leave? Well, I mean, what's Spain going to do? There's no Portugal, so Portugal's not going to do anything. USA is Gurin. He's not going to get over here to do anything, and even if he did, the UK could hop in and sink all of his ships. There's an Ottoman player. What's he going to do? He's probably going to take advantage. He's probably going to eat into Austria while all this is going on. So realistically, you guys are fucked, and if all goes as I've been told, then the UK is going to come over and annex Japan, probably 30-ish infamy, over a couple, maybe 3 wars, and Japan's going to be gone. And then this campaign's going to end just like the last one. I mean, unless you just really feel like playing a one-state Prussia, I guess you can do that, Slazer, but it's kind of up to you. I mean, we saw what ended the last campaign, and that is Prussia was dead, Japan was dead, all sense of balance was gone, and it was just a clusterfuck, and obviously the UK was going to die next. And now I've got basically the same situation. Prussia's going to die, Japan's going to die, except rather than the UK dying as well, UK, France, Sardinia, Piedmont, and Russia are all allied to each other. So have fun, the 4 of you, as you continue into the rest of the campaign. If you make it that far, my prediction is that this campaign is going to end after 2 sessions, just like the last one. So I'm really curious. Let me know in the comments if you think I made the right choice in bailing out of this campaign, or if you think I should have taken the deal to sit around for 2 sessions doing nothing, or if you think I should have tried to fight it out, basically me versus UK with all irregulars and no tech, or some other combination maybe. Anyway, someone else has taken Japan, so now it's his problem. And otherwise, that's about it. Still taking part in the EU4 campaign. That one's pretty interesting, I would say. And the Friday games, the Random World game, continues this week. So thanks for watching and have a good one.